One of the top astrologers in this country reads our charts next.
Tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way?
That's one of the best graphics we ever had on the show. Okay, a new report in a magazine called AM New York says psychics and astrologers are the new go-to people when it comes to figuring out what's going on in your life.
Especially with the economy in crisis. I mean, that's why. So here to help guide us with his astrological expertise is our resident astrologer, Greg Tufaro, a.k.a. Astrolo-G.
A man who loves himself.
Greg and I and Mike have worked together now for
Greg.
2 years, and
Good
he's
to see
one of
you.
the most amazing people, and I never got the whole astrology thing, but I'm believing it now.
Yeah.
Or I need to believe it
Well,
now.
you're really good at this. He's a very good astrologer, so let's have it. Let's start with Juliet.
Well, here's the thing. We got to, as many of you know, our show is going to be fading away down the road.
Sadly.
Down the road.
Very
in the
sadly.
fall.
Mike and I have been working together for 7 years.
7
Yes.
years.
What's happening here?
Well, I looked at Mike's chart, and the first thing I saw in your chart, and I actually asked you about this yesterday, was I wanted you to relate what happened about 30 years ago, because I saw something with career and work, and I saw it being big.
It's odd. When it was, 30 years ago, big break in television. It launched this career.
Similar.
30 years ago.
I will say, I know that this is coming to an end, but there's a similar thing in your chart, when I looked at your specific chart, that's coming up in September, August, September. And then if nothing happens around then, which I'd be surprised if it didn't, come December, there's something unexpected big, like a big, huge change. Huge.
As far as career?
As far as career, absolutely. And it could
career.
involve distance. It could involve traveling away from New York, which, you know, we'd be sad to see you go, but it could involve
LA?
going somewhere else.
Why do you keep saying London?
No, but he says maybe
It could be overseas. It could be something
He
overseas.
sees overseas.
Ooh.
And I'll say this about you guys, because I know that this is one of the questions that you always wonder about. Like, you guys have been
splitting
together for about 7 years. Now, astrologically speaking, at like a 7-year point to 14-year, 21 and 28, about every 7, even they say like in any marriage, there's that 7-year itch.
Yeah.
It is one of those things that you have to work through. It's the point at which people do change,
saying.
relationships change.
What's he saying?
It's over.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's one of those things that people have to work through, and if they don't, then...
Well, we'll always be best friends. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
What about her career?
Well, career... Well, okay, so this is what I'm going to say about you. Now, you don't mind me sharing your age.
No. 25.
Astrologically speaking, there's something that happens between 40 and 42. You know, a lot of people call it a midlife crisis.
Right.
It's a major life change. When I look at your chart specifically, and I look at Doug, your husband, and you're a Libra and he's an Aquarius, I am 100% certain that you are going to have a kid next year. 100%.
Wow.
No, like 100.
In the next 12 months.
And next year you will give birth, 100%. And in terms of who you are, and I know you've been like a career woman for your whole life.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the big change for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy being a mom. I know that sounds a little.
How about my?
No, I
think that'd be
believe that.
great.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Okay.
Okay.
Real
Good.
quickly, give me 30 seconds, 20 seconds on a personal relationship.
For you, what's the sign of the partner? Cancer.
Libra.
Okay, it's
those are bad signs.
Well, you're a Libra too. Libra and Cancer, it's one of those, if you're born about 90 days apart from somebody, it tends to indicate that there's some sort of difficulty, there's a tension point in a relationship that you have to work through. Like, you'd be more of like a thinker, talker. You'd be more sensitive and emotional. So that would be the dynamic at play in the relationship.
Okay, we have some people in the audience want to be read. Kelsey, you're a Pisces?
I am. Born in February.
So, and your question is?
My question, when will I meet Mr. Right?
Okay.
When is he coming? What is he like?
And you don't know who Mr. Right is for you?
I do not, no.
Okay, when I look at your chart, now as a Pisces, you're very sensitive. You're somebody that takes on other people's feelings. You're very receptive. Sometimes you take on other people's negative feelings, and then you reflect them back in your relationships. In terms of a person that would be good for you, it would be an artistic type. It would be a sensitive type, somebody drawn to the arts.
Really?
It could be a Cancer. Cancer is actually a good type. And that might not be who you've been with.
No, not artsy at all.
And then I'll say the other thing is...
Not my thing.
Well, it should...
Well, don't...
The reality is, I wouldn't poo-poo it because...
Eyes.
Yeah. The reality is that might be the type of person you need in order for you to be able to express
What would be her
yourself
best sign as a match?
Best sign for a Pisces? I mean, easy sign is Cancer. A Scorpio would be... You know what? You'd like a Scorpio because they'd be intense.
That's November.
But and artsy doesn't necessarily mean like, ooh, yeah, man.
No,
it's like a rocker.
It could be like somebody that likes being on center stage and like performing for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good personality, but, you know...
Be a new step for me.
Now, after the show, Greg's going to...
And I take that step.
You're going to do some more readings in the green room for some of our other guests here, so thank you for doing that.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you, brother.
Greg! You've got to cheering section over there, Greg. The hottest astrological guy in the country.
Astrolo-G here in the green room at M&J, and right now I'm talking to Patty.
Hi.
And Patty, what's your birthday?
May 9th.
It's May 9th. And you're a Taurus.
I am a Taurus.
So I looked at your chart, and the first thing I saw is starting around, you wanted to know about your health and like the status of your health. The first thing I saw is that something definitely started around the second half of 2006.
Yes, that's correct.
And through 2007, you really have been hit by one whammy after another. 2007, there's probably a relapse of whatever the issue was. Towards the end of this year, things start turning around. Really, after October is when you'll start feeling like 100% like your old self again, if you haven't been feeling like that in a long time. And you haven't been working either. And I'm not going to say that you could do the same thing you were doing before, but the reality is that next year, you're supposed to be blessed in some way when it comes to your career and where you're going, and even friends. Like if there are friends that could help you find something to do, because nobody wants to be sitting around and doing nothing. They should be able to help you after that point. You have another question, I think?
About my love life, just where is it going? Is there...
Well, the other thing, and you're single right now, I think. So the one thing I'll say is that in the next couple of months, I don't know if there's somebody from your past who maybe has been in your mind or somebody that could represent themselves or maybe has in the past couple of weeks. But the next couple of months kind of indicates something from the past representing itself. So I don't know if there's a love interest or anything like that, but I could see that happening for you, and it could be a good thing. Actually, a good thing to at least revisit it if it hadn't been, like if a chapter hadn't been closed or you didn't have closure on the situation.
Thank you.
No problemo. And over here we have...
Racine,
And you, what's your birthday?
March 22nd.
And so you're a Pisces. I mean, you're an Aries. And what was your question?
I wanted to know if there was a job that I would be passionate about.
Right, and I looked at your chart, and the first thing that really leaped out is even though you're an Aries, and like Aries, you know, tends to dominate and like want to take charge and all that stuff and be in control of situations, you have a very sensitive artistic side to you. You have a lot of stuff in Pisces. That's kind of why I said that. And it really would mean that you're drawn to arts, whether it be music, theater, dance, entertainment, some sort of performing, something with that. You also have in your chart like a drive. You actually, there are a lot of artists that kind of get lost in the clouds and whatnot. You don't have that. You have like a buckle down, get it done mentality. So if you work hard at doing it, it definitely will come through. But it also, on some level, I don't know if like the art thing is kind of questionable to you, but you tend to have that challenge in terms of, is that really something you can pursue versus, you know, if there's somebody that should be able to, you do have that within your chart to be able to do so. And if you start this year, next year, really for you, do you mind me asking how old you are? You don't have to share if you...
I'm 35.
Okay, 36 is a big pivotal year, 36, 37, and it really could be like the start of something new. So if you kind of start laying the foundation for it now, it really could go places next year. Like you're really lucky in terms of who you are and promoting that to the world next year.
My husband will be very happy to hear that because we're in the process of building a dance studio in my house. So, yeah.
You're a dancer.
I'm a dancer. I do Highlands, so I'm hoping to teach in the next year.
Do it
So,
up. You could yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, like in terms of the drive and determination that I see in your chart, it would indicate the ability to teach. There's an ability to do for, like to bring other people into action. Like you should be able to have the ability to motivate people. I'd totally go for it.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
All right.
My husband will be ecstatic.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Thank you. Astrolo-G out.